4-man mosh pit followed by Entomb. Oh no!
Oh, a huge light bomb coming in on the Genji, and that's a 5-man light bomb. They're going to follow up, and they're going to get 1, 2, 3 kills.
And it's going to be everybody dying. Oh my god, when does this happen? Everybody's dead.
G'day. Welcome back to a... That says Beast, of course it does. It says the wrong division. But welcome back to another division. NGS... Well, I've just messed up. It's an introduction title. But welcome to NGS Cast. We have Division C East today. Hard stuck support group facing off against Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers. Also, I hope you're doing well, Sin. Thanks for the kind words. And also, as my kind of mic says... Also, hi Tazik, hope you're doing well. As my kind of title says, if anything does sound a bit weird and off once we get into the games, please tell me. Just because it is a new microphone and I just need to make sure that I do have everything right, because I am actually live casting something later and not just a replay. Anyway, as I said, we have Hard Stuck support group facing off against Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers, and their Hard Stuck support group banned out Dragonshire and, well, Sky Temple. I briefly forgot what that map was called. Then we can see Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers banned out Tomb of the Spider Queen and Battlefield of Eternity. And that leads us to Braxis Holdout. Not something you see very often. And the question is, once they start getting into the game, that's when things get interesting in terms of balance and such. But Braxis Holdout, as we said, not often you see it picked, but should be interesting to say the least. I have the map loading up now, so in a few moments we'll jump on over and hopefully everything works out. Let's see how this goes. When it loads, game, you can take your time. I timed it correctly, let's go. So, on the left hand side of Hard Stuck support group, we have Random Engineer on the Gazlo. Taco on the... Oh, okay. Taco, who's usually on Region Rebel, was, I guess, filling in today, so Taco is on the Joanna. Smack Loud on the Stukov. Mighty Toast is on the Sergeant Hammer, and Omar G is on Tassadar. And on the other side, we have Imsky on the Malfail. Fading Chashi on the... Chashi? On the Anduin. Tazik is on the... Tychus. Hebrew Hammer is on Muradin, and Frank... rounding up the compositions is on Jaina. Yeah, there we go. Are we starting yet? The immortal words of a Joanna player. Okay, no one's sure if they're starting. Taco got hit with a grenade, so I think Taco may be clued on that they have now started. We can see them stepping up, getting a nice stun onto Frank and Hebrew Hammer. However, overextended, they've already lost over half their health. Grenade hitting just Mighty Toast and Omar G. Didn't quite hit the Joanna. Joanna was already like quite low on health. Stukov isn't known for their burst healing, to say the least. They have a lot of sustain. They get a little bit of burst healing at forward to build dependent. Mighty Toast in danger, does kind of slowly float out of there. Unfortunately, with the silence pull, it did stop them fight on the side of Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers finding the kill. Absolutely vital that you keep your Hammer alive, as Hammer is really a strong character in this composition. We see just grenaders every now and again throwing... Yeah, Tychus every now and again throwing a grenade at Hammer. Just a little bit of Terran on Terran violence. You see Hammer coming out onto Stukov now. Smack Cloud taking a decent amount of damage. Taco actually getting relatively low for a tank. I could honestly Honestly, Tazik, if you somehow picked Nature's Culling while playing Tychus, I would be more impressed than not. We can see actually Hebrew Hammer gets relatively low, not quite what we want to see. But Muradin does have that passive. They will at least have their second wind going off the whole time. And actually, let's have a look at talents. We actually even have third wind, so Hebrew Hammer will heal up quite a bit whenever it happens. Mighty Toast getting what damage it can. And Taco actually nearly going down to a grenade there. And Tazik just all while getting peppered. Hebrew Hammer finding a hammer onto Mighty Toast. Now we can see Imsky is actually bullying out Random Engineer a little bit, but it is just now that Hard Stuck support group has managed to bully out the 4-man of Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers. Chashi backing, and the Jaina had to back as well. In terms of stacking, the main thing to note is Tassadar did pick up the level 1 static charge, so it'll be... Sorry, something in my throat. So they will be gaining energy there, damage there over time, but we also have the baseline quest of Frostbite on Jaina, which eventually will give her that kind of protective ice block, as well as Hebrew Hammer has that so hard to complete Hammer Quest baseline where fingers crossed they get it completed this map. So Omar taking a little bit of damage. I gotta be careful about how I'm leaning now because I have this microphone that's in a static position as opposed to on my head. However, we do have the side of Chongal Rescue Rangers taking the objective. And we can see that Emsky did manage to take top. However, going to trade it out with Random Engineer as actually Tassadar comes up as well. So that's a little bit of 2 action there. Oh. Emsky has now figured out that there are indeed 2 enemy heroes there. Does manage to get the flip around them and actually is sustaining quite well. Hebrew Hammer has just decided to join the fray. Omar G gets hit with that sledgehammer and there'll be them going down. Or Stormbot, I should say, and there'll be a kill onto Omar G. Right, Hard Stuck support group are now wanting to probably push back in here. Taco getting relatively low, 50 armor, not quite enough to save him. SmackCloud wasn't able to keep their tank alive, and that will be them going down. Another quest, 2 more quests to note that have been picked up. We have Master Assassin Tychus now at 2 stacks, and we have Piercing Light Anduin, who, if SmackCloud can die, Tazit gets his 3rd stack of Master Assassin, and we have a 100% Zerg to an 18% Zerg in favor of Chongal Rescue Rangers. So Tassadar is very much the best clear on the side of Hard Stuck support group. Hammer can do pretty well, but still is... Oh, she has extended splash damage, so Advanced Artillery should do pretty well to give that extra kind of damage to the waves and such. However, Tassadar is usually the best one for this. We see Hebrew Hammer is actually getting targeted by Fort, just taking the shots for a little bit. And actually don't hate someone else taking the shots instead of the wave, just because you can see how easily the wave crumples still. And really, it took Gate and half, still pretty much over half of Fort. It's pretty good. Now we see Gazlo, Random Engineer is going to start running. Hammer comes out onto them, hits him square on. Random Engineer is going to be held briefly in, but no, Hebrew Hammer does not quite get the body block on them. And actually both heroes will survive with enough health, but probably a little less from Hebrew Hammer than they would have liked. Tazit getting a nice minigun chain onto Joanna. And we see Nature's culling picked up by Tychus. Right, Hebrew Hammer gets a nice little slam onto Omar G. Good Hammer follow-up. Then we're going to get... No follow-up there. No one was quite in position. We do get another stack of Inner Light, Piercing Light, however, as that will be Joanna going down. And nice grenade onto Omar G. That Nature's culling doing so much there. Meanwhile, we do see a decent push going top with this cap. It is starting to just get that front wave down. Actually going to have a decent wave behind it. However, Random Engineer is there just to kind of ruin that push. But we do see the side of Chongal Rescue Rangers, which I realize I haven't capitalized one of the R's, and that looks really bizarre. Sorry, give me a moment. There we go. That's far less annoying to look at than the other one. But we do have Siege Camp. Well, actually, not quite Siege Camp being fought over, but at least being zoned out of. Frank, however, does get pulled by Fading. And that is Frank going to be holding on a little bit longer than they probably should have without that Anduin pull. The Trust Issues button once again saves the day. And actually, we have all 5 members of Hard Stuck support group in the bottom lane. We see Hebrew Hammer dropping on top of Hammer. Well, Hammer needing pop the unstop in return. May need to pop that a bit earlier with the Hammer originally hit. However, nothing happening there. So we have Hebrew Hammer throwing a Stormbolt Hammer at Sergeant Hammer. Just to hammer it up a little bit. Oh, and Joe can get those orbiting hammers. There's going to be so many hammers on the game right now. But no, we see Sergeant Hammer is using that push, that hover siege tank to kind of push in. Unfortunately for Omar G, W from Hammer kind of pushes everyone to the safe side of wall, and that means all the team members of Hard Stuck support group get to live. I mean, nature creates storms, so yes, I guess they are nature's hammers. You are correct. But we see Taco getting relatively low, and we'll go down to Nature's Grenade. We see Root going out onto SmackCloud. SmackCloud, however, able to walk out. No, actually, they get caught out by Ring of Frost, but Jaina goes down to the Sergeant Hammer in the backline. Meanwhile, SmackCloud is getting harassed by Tazik and Hebrew Hammer, and will also go down. So, the side of Chongal Rescue Rangers, once again, have quite firm control of these points. However, the composition that Hard Stuck support group will have at level 10 quite a few tools to help them with the next kind of with the objectives coming up. They just do need those 10s first. They need... I imagine they'll... Will we see Napalm Strike, or will we see Blunt Force Gun? I think Napalm Strike may be the choice, but Blunt Force Gun can always be just a fun choice. Anyway, level 10s are through. We see a lot of insta-picks there. We see Blessed Shield picked up, which we use immediately, getting a nice triple stun. Good work, Taco, but Black Hole is used. We also have another Black Hole on Gazlo, who is currently top, but we see that is Joanna going down first, as Hebrew Hammer uses jump to get the aggro of Tower to break from them. Smack Cloud using flailing swipes to make sure people aren't able to get too much damage. Tazik actually took a decent amount. However, even with the flailing swipes used, that will be fought going down now. Winger Foss comes out. Mighty Toast holds their ground in the middle. Doesn't get hit by it. But there we see Napalm Strike. I've just flung my pencil across the desk. But no, nice fight by the side of Cho'Gahl Rescue Rangers there. Very good to get that fought now. Just because it means that's one less tool later that Hard Stuck support group can fall back to. Taku getting zoned out a little bit. And now we see Hebrew Hammer in an awkward position. Does get pulled out by Fading Sheishi once again. Very much saving the asses of their team quite a bit today. But to look at other heroics they haven't quite touched on yet, we do also have Gravabomb 3000. That's the other thing that I haven't mentioned from the side of Hard Stuck support group. But Cho'Gahl Rescue Rangers, on the other hand, have Commandeer Odin picked up by Tychus, Last Rites of Malthael, Ring of Frost Jaina, which we've already seen twice, Muradin went Avatar, and we do have Light Bomb Anduin, which I always love a good Light Bomb Dwarf launch going on in. Nature's Pencil Miss. Again, pencils made out of... Well, this one at least is actually made out of wood and charcoal. So yes, this one is actually Nature's Hammer. But no, excellent Gravabomb by Gazlo. Nice follow-up with Tychus as well, putting the silencer actually under there. And we actually see two members of Cho'Gahl Rescue Rangers escaping. Fading Cheishi getting relatively low. Hebrew Hammer surviving as well. And now we see the side of Cho'Gahl Rescue Rangers, despite being down 13s, being able to push into Hard Stuck support groups 4. Right, and we can actually see... Oh, Hammer just hitting Hammer once again. Hammer's Hammer hitting Hammer once again. There we go. But 13s have been through for quite a little bit now for Cho'Gahl Rescue Rangers. Hard Stuck support group. Still another half a level off. There's about a 3/4 level difference between the two teams, which is a greater than 0 amount. It's actually pretty sizable margin to be ahead of. Emsky in an awkward situation does get pulled by Anduin. And once again, Tassadar Wall is actually being used very well by Omar G here. Just getting the team members of Cho'Gahl Rescue Rangers stuck is forcing a considerably long cooldown out of Fading Cheishi. Anduin's pull is like 70 seconds, and if you need to do that every time there is a Tassadar Wall that comes out, it's more or less not going to be on cooldown every time you need it. Oh look, Joanna went hammers. There's so many hammers. I love this. But no, we do see now a fight is going to start spreading out top. Meanwhile, Malthael has pushed Gazlo off of the objective for now, but Gazlo is rotating up. Smack Cloud, however, in a relatively dangerous position. Tazik barely holding on. Smack Cloud is just being ran down the whole time. Hebrew Hammer not letting go of that. They get nice double kill in the backline with Anduin and Tazik assisting them, albeit Anduin stole Hebrew Hammer's kill, so I don't know how I feel about that. Meanwhile, we see Last Rites takes out Gazlo. Which... No, we don't have On a Pale Horse, but Feather Reaper still is pretty good in these situations. You may not be able to get up to that top point as fast as you would be able to with the On a Pale Horse, but you can still get through pretty fast, and the move speed and move through people is very helpful. Hammer barely falls short, doesn't quite find Hammer. Hebrew Hammer may be annoyed at that one, but they do definitely still have advantage with map. What kind of Hard Stuck support group need to be here? So they need to play I know say need to play a little bit safer. That's obviously going to be the case. They really do, but they need to be try and take less of these disadvantageous siege team fights on the objective. And say that there was a 5v4 that objective there, but we see a very dead Gazler. It was a 5v4 that last one, but that is very much a unfortunate situation. Emsky is saying, bruh, it better not be something as what I said. Yes. Anyway, we do have now the team of Gall Rescue Rangers actually pushing into bottom fort where the Zerg wave is going top, which still a pretty decent choice. The split push pressure alone will mean that there is a distraction by Hardstuck support group. But with the way the levels are now, this is probably the better choice for Hardstuck support group to just defend this and give the fort to the one where the enemy opposition team is, just because you are down that level. You're obviously playing a little bit tighter, so it's quite hard for you to come back if you just want to straight up fight. But in saying that, this is Braxis. This is the snowballing map. This is one of the snowballing maps, if not the most snowballing map. So you need to somehow either A, get a quick pick, which Gall Rescue Rangers are playing relatively together. Relatively given. Like, most out of positions Hebrew Hammer, because they use jump to go over this wall. But honestly, they just needed to burn their camp here, because now we see, aside Gall Rescue Rangers very much wanting to invade, and they don't have really many good options. We see Hammer coming out onto Mighty Toast. Mighty Toast does push Hebrew Hammer away. And actually, the side of Gall Rescue Rangers does not want to take this. They just go, you know what? You can have it. We're backing out. Hebrew Hammer goes, are you sure we actually want to back out, guys? But no, we do see they are now returning to the fight. Gazlo coming up. There could be a very good Gravo bomb here, if they get there in time. Nice. Good unstop by Tazik. However, that is a very convincing fight by Hardstuck support group, as they do manage to muscle out Gall Rangers, despite them being down 2 levels and a talent tier no less. Right. You can see Random Engineers doing the punching thing again. We see Mighty Toast is trying to clear that way. Meanwhile, 5 members of Hardstuck, 3 members of Hardstuck support group are needing to defend against Gall Rescue Rangers, as there's a decent push coming on. Emski, however, a little bit ready to go, packing their bags, wanting to go to the objective and get that rolling as soon as that's basically up. Boss is up. No one is down though, so I doubt there'll be a play for it. If we see another pick go off either way, that may very much be the play to push onto the Archangel in the middle. However, with how everything is set up currently, that's not really the best play, but we do at least have an even talent tier now, as Hardstuck support group have just found their 16 talent tier. So this is now an even enough fight, as even it's gonna be until 20. Yeah, you honestly need to take this now while there's only a 1 level disparity. But right, let's see what's going to happen as the jaws are closing around Hardstuck support group, as Gall Rescue Rangers are very much wanting to take this fight. Taco dismounts Muradin, Muradin getting stunned. However, there's a very big split between the backline and the front line of Hardstuck support group. Excellent Blizzard by Janet. Hebrew Hammer still split from the rest of the team. Like, this is a very split fight already. A lot of posturing going on. Need to zoom all the way out for this. My god, because just... the tank of the side of Gall Rescue Rangers is actually all the way in Narnia, while the rest of the team are just chilling bottom, not doing anything. Hebrew Hammer is actually going to take a decent amount of damage. Does pop Avatar do so. We see that is wall coming out. Hebrew Hammer does still have jump and gets to live. Meanwhile, the Zerg had gone over to Gall Rescue Rangers. So now Hardstuck support group do have to defend a full Zerg pushing in bottom, which will do a lot of damage to core. Like, they need to hit here immediately. However, Smackloud and... oh no, Smackloud did get hit with a root, however will not go down. They do hold on. They did have enough health for it, as well as the flailing swipes did hold off the rest of the side of Gall Rescue Rangers, so they weren't going to die. But we do see now Taco is going to start helping clear this. Mighty Toast and Omar G as well. But no, meanwhile... Gall Rescue Rangers just want to push in top. We can see that they are going to start very much doing so. Random Engineer thinking, oh, maybe I can go for a Gravo Bomb here. That'll be fun. Let's just drop it on top of their heads. But no, does the responsible thing. Goes and helps clears for Zerg Wave bottom. But Joanna, on the other hand, is brazenly walking into the team. Tychus, not caring that she's there, just hitting the keep. Wanting to take that structure down as soon as possible. But we now have all 5 members of each team in pretty close proximity. Omar G barely hitting Tazik in the butt, so to speak, with that lightning beam. Wait, actually, what is it called? It's not Static Charge. Static Charge is level 1. What hero are you? Number 2. Shock Ray. We see Tassadar giving vision with that level 13 Oracle talent. Just a ranged vision talent. Excellent for needing to know where you're going to hopefully not die next, but where you can find the enemy next to make them die, so to speak. Right. 2 camps are now pushing. I imagine we're going to start boss. We're getting a little bit of a Hail Mary from Hard Stuck support group. Taco getting relatively low already. Does have to pop Iron Skin. You see Tazak is just wailing on them with that trait. That trait does so much to tanks, as we know it has percent damage, but we see Taco going down to last rights on Malfail. That is just an execute basically, and there's him going down. Smackloud barely running away fast enough to not get hit by the root. However, all the while, Gaslow was in a fist fight with a Muradin, and that will be them going down. And it looks like we may have an end call here by Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers. As Hero Hammer is leading the charge once again, jumps on Omar, hits a stun. He's going to start just wailing on them, but nope, nothing quite found. Unfortunately, Hero Hammer doesn't quite have the damage by themselves until Rewind comes in. If Rewind was up, which is maybe in about, not by the time this game ends, then yes, that would be a very dead Omar G. However, we do have the full 5 members of Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers. The core is dropping pretty quickly. Down to 30 now, down to 20. We see his little fight happening top. 10% left on core. Is Hero Hammer going to kill Smackcloud before it ends? Nope. That will be the first round over. GG being called by the side of Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers. And there's one from Hard Stuck support group as well. Right, let's have a look at game summary and see how that map went for both teams. As we can see here, Tychus had the most damage. However, Sergeant Hammer wasn't too far behind. But Tychus did have a Joanna to hit 90% of the time. So Trait does so much damage to them with that percent damage. Joe being one of our healthier tanks, percent damage obviously gets a lot done. Anything else to note? In terms of talents, Malfail did a bit more siege than Gaslow, but Malfail does just clear better than Gaslow in general. Buildings, maybe not so much, but waves, that's Malfail's jam. Healing, pretty close between Sturkov and Anduin, bit in Fading Chashi's favor. And then Soak, Malfail had the most there, but that typically that typically happens when you're also doing most siege. In terms of talents, anything that stands out. I don't typically see Thermal Lance picked. It's not picked often. I know I play a weird Tassadar build though, so I'm probably a bit biased towards what I choose, because I like the hybrid Q at 1, then W at 7 and 16, which I know isn't common. And we did also see Force Barrier from Tassadar. Force Barrier is level 16. Plasma Shield from Tassadar, which is also not picked very often. Gaslow went that kind of classic trait at level 1, Big Game Hunter, which lets him fight a bit more, drop those turrets, which then gives him shields, and just helps him kind of self-sustain for a lot of fights. Yep, Tychus was going what I expected from Tychus at this point. Piercing Light Anduin, not quite getting there, but did still at least get 4 stacks, which honestly, into a kind of one frontline most of the time kind of composition, that's all you could really ask for. Alright, let me swap it on over to, I've done it again, map view screen. And we can see what is coming up next. And as I say, usually I don't know who first picks and who map picks, just because, well, I don't want to spoil myself a series because it's less fun that way. But right, what do we have, unless someone can beat me to say it? Towers of Doom. Towers of Doom. Again, not one you see as often currently. Some teams really love this map, depending on the offlaner. But some teams absolutely despise this map and don't ever want to play it. However, we're going to see how it goes today. So let me open it on up. And I will swap into the game in just a few moments. It just does like taking its time. Which, I'm all about taking my time. I'm a bit lazy sometimes, but hey, here we are. Let's swap it over. Right, so on the left-hand side of, right-hand side of Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers we're starting with, because that's where I put my camera. We have Empsky on Sylvanas, Fading Chaishi on the Brightwing. Tezek is on Leoric. Frank is on...
The battle begins in 10
I'm making like the pool movement. Alarak. And Hebrew Hammer is on Garrosh this time. Then on the left-hand side, we have Random Engineer on the Blaze. Mighty Toast is on Tychus. Omar G. Tassadar once again. Taco Anubrak. And Smack Loud is on Lucio. This is a Vampire Lost Route team. I fed once very painfully. Well, we'll find out soon enough how well you do, well, feed. And actually, for once, we see that Sylvanas' team is not doing a cheese at level 1. I know that never happens at this point. You usually see Tassadar just on Sylvanas' team's like, go bottom here, we'll get him here. But no, not this time. However, we see Taco as the one doing it instead. Getting those beetles out, taking the damage again. Smackloud actually taking a decent amount of damage. Hebrew Hammer going in a very aggressive line. If a frog gets caught out, that's a very dead frog. Hebrew Hammer does use Front a minion, so Smackloud is still not actually safe. They're still behind enemy lines. They're trying to skate out as fast as they can. Unfortunately, they will go down to the Alarak as Alarak gets that first 3% on their sadism. And they are actually going to go that auto attack build. Right, so talents to note while we're here. Regeneration Master from actually a very dead bug. As you see Flip go onto him, we see Frank pulled him back in with that WQ combo. And Anubrak unfortunately can't really survive through that. But yes, Regeneration Master on Anubrak for going for globes. Static Charge on Tassadar once again. They are going for that Q build. And meanwhile, we have seen now 6 extra sadism on Alarak. And that sadism, if you can't get rid of it, that's going to hurt a lot. It just adds up over time. I want to see Frank go the combo talent at 4, which is if you don't know, if you hit, I think it's 3 abilities in 3 seconds or 3 abilities 2 seconds, something like that, you get an extra 2% sadism, stacking up to 20, I believe. Nice burrow by Taco, actually able to survive a lot of combo. Hebrew Hammer actually relatively low. Chaishi, however, does get the phase shift onto them, so they will not be going down here. Which, good stuff if you are fading Chishi. Chishi? I don't know. It's a weird name. And now I'm getting messages from my division about scheduling. Because some of them did not quite get scheduling done in time this week. But hey, I know sometimes you're busy. She. But yes, Show of Force, thank you for telling me that. And it's not Show of Force, it's actually Chaos Reigns. Which, not the easiest quest to get done. It's actually quite a hard quest to get done for Alarak. I think you need to hit 3 heroes with a single Discord Strike, which, not out of a realm of possibility. Cheshi. Okay, I think I have it now, but I like it. Also, welcome, Cheshi. Hope you're doing well. But we see actually Anubrak going down. That's a very bad time for Anubrak, as they are now going to have to leave. It's not really something that Hard Stuck Support Group can now battle it out for. Meanwhile, we can see there is a battle happening between Tezek and Random Engineer. I actually like the Leoric pick into Blaze. Blaze is one of my favorite offlaners currently, sure. But Leoric draining that health from Random Engineer just means he lives so well into them. And actually, we see Brightwing the first one to go down this time. Random Engineer relatively low. Tezek is only just starting to channel now. Anubrak decided to go straight past their one and go in. We see Emski getting double stunned, triple stunned, and actually Emski's getting relatively low. That'll be them going down. Nice double stun by Hebrew Hammer. I'd say if they don't go back into interrupt Tezek, I'd be very surprised. Lucio barely gets the interrupt. Frank only hitting Taco. Hebrew Hammer getting relatively low bottom, and that will be them getting phase shifted onto, so they'll be fine. And if you keep note, Brightwing has now respawned, and Sylvanas is coming back soon. We see Taco's thrown in. Frank gets a nice combo into Random Engineer. Random Engineer finding Hebrew Hammer with a stun on way out, and that will be Hard Stuck Support Group of a feature. What's the feature? Is the feature me? Don't know what you're on about. But we do see that the teams are now going to be pushing into the side of them. And we do actually see Hard Stuck Support Group manages to take the top, both the top objectives. So they've put themselves in the lead. Okay, that makes far more sense. Thank you. But But anyway, nice take of the top objective by Hardstack support group. It was a very long fight, actually. It was very kind of not knowing where that was going to go, but it did at least work out for them this time. Will it work out for them again if they try to get aggressive? Hard to tell. We do see Hebrew Hammer throwing Taco out. Taco goes for the bush. We will not see him get onto the objective in time. It's now not quite a fight you want to take, so no, Hardstack support group backs out. Hardstack support group are definitely feeling more comfortable this time. Okay, fair enough. Nice stun onto Frank. Frank, with a little bit of anger, just lets out some lightning. That Pikachu Thunderbolt being used by Alarak. But yeah, we do see that there just is a siege advantage over the side of Hardstack support group. They are clearing this relatively fast. Hebrew Hammer gets in front of Taco. Honestly, that's fine. We see Polymorph coming out. Speed Boost trying to get Taco out of danger. We can see Smack Cloud does then go back to the heal. Just to get that ticks going to slowly bring Taco up in health. Just one objective this time. And actually, Hardstack support group are close to 10s. We see that is, however, a very dead Anubarak. And the timing on that, very inopportune if you're the side of Hardstack support group. But if you're Gall Rescue Rangers, this will probably make it even now in terms of at least core health. Just because you do have that kill now over Hardstack support group. We do hear his combo coming up. We see a nice stun onto Random Engineer. High five used by Lucio. Bunker drop also being used. Hebrew Hammer relatively low. But it is cancelled by Fading Che-Shi. But Fading Che-Shi does go in to die. Then we see Garrosh also goes down not too long after, and that is a nice double kill for the side of Hardstack support group. It almost feels got quite a bit different momentum this game, as Hardstack support group are definitely looking more comfortable with this map. Sure, Gall Rescue Rangers did kind of have a pretty convincing fight on that first objective, but now 10s are through. This is feeling very much like Hardstack support group is struggling a little bit more. Oh, is actually firing on all cylinders as they did get that kill. And why does my mic keep drifting up? I will one day find out. I don't know. Right. Emsky is going to do what damage they can to Taco, trying to ward that bug off, so to speak. Nice stun helping them get out, and Smack Cloud getting healing up on them that whole time as well. Alright, Leoric and Blaze are just doing offlane things. Okay, the offlane thing doesn't really ever change in this map. It's always the same. Oh, I double suck. Oh, I double suck. Oh, I'm actually going to come team fight. Way! And we do see now a nice double stack coming out. Frank getting relatively low. We see Unstop being used by Garrosh, and Frank is next one to go down. And that's a reset on Sadism. And very important if you're the side of Hardstack support group. Fading Che-Shi is going to be doing their best. They do blink out. 18 health is as low as they could get in that time, as the Brightwing will barely hold on. Blink healing to that minion wave, which, in all honesty, that's the best. Sometimes that is the best. Look, we love a good Banjo-Kazooie. It's a game that I haven't played in a while, but it is a fun series. Ignoring the last one. Let's ignore Banjo free. That game doesn't exist. They only ever made 2, so don't worry about it. Sorry about that. I was just fixing something very quick because it's being absolutely annoying. I'm trying my best not to break anything. But next objectives are called 12 to 12. It may even get third. Blaze may be able to squeeze up 13 for the team, but no, they do decide just to forego it. Oh no, there's 13. Anyway, did come passively through. We see 4 members of the side of Gall Rescue Rangers down bottom. We see 4 members of the side of Hardstack support group here. You know, we do have a good old slap fight still happening mid. Taco finds Hebrew Hammer. However, Frank doesn't quite hit their Q. However, Taco is dead before they're even able to cast a single ability. And that will be a very dead Anubarak, which, not ideal. We see Entomb was actually used by Tazak. Tazak is doing their best to get what damage they can on Random Engineer. Random Engineer, however, did drop the bunker while in that Entomb, so they are able to escape through the walls. Smack Cloud, are you going to stall? Yes. Does get Polymorph for their sins, but they do at least get out. Oh, are they going to do it again? Is Frank ready for it? Frank is indeed ready for it. We can see Alarak is behind the corner, ready to get the silence off, but we see Fading Che-Shi accidentally moves before the channel ends. Lucio slides on in, auto attacks, tries sliding on out. They did run into Tazak, however, and that will be a very dead frog. Right, Taco is considering going in. We see Cocoon used onto Garrosh. Nice double stun with the Q from them. However, that will likely be that fight done. Tychus interrupt. Oh, I missed the Tychus grenade because I was too busy watching Lucio just dancing around the top. It happens sometimes. Exactly. But we do now see that there is going to be an invade by the side of Chongar Rescue Rangers, who, after struggling for a bit in that early game, are starting to now to look like they can take control. Now we're moving into this mid portion. Nice combo by Frank, getting a lot of Taco's health game down. We see Taco having to use Burrow Charge out. Fortunately, that means the Anubrak will not die, which, honestly, best outcome, your hero not dying. I don't know what, or killing the other hero, that's actually best outcome, but your own dying is pretty good off a combo such as that. You can see Taco goes in, getting a nice double stun with the follow-up of the Q, whatever that talent's called. Hebrew Hammer does get unstopped, however, is taking just a bit too much damage. No, Brightwing gets a phase shift off in time, so that is Hebrew Hammer holding on as long as it can. Nice cocoon by the Anubrak, because that is now Leoric out of a fight for a little bit. And actually, Mighty Toss drops Commandeer Odin here, so that means they'll be pushing into this next objective. Tassadar did drop for wall, did scare off Hebrew Hammer a little bit. You see they now are stepping up, looking to throw someone into the death zone. Taco gets pulled pretty damn close to it. And we see Frank is going to be using that Counter-Strike, so they will not have it for this coming objective phase. But they did at least try and get something fancy out of that before the objective could even come up. So last time we had people fighting over Altar's top, it didn't quite go in Shoangal Rescue Rangers' favor. But will we have Hardstuck support group trying to fight them again this time? It doesn't look so, as Frank is just being left to kind of their own devices to turn in. Tazik fades for a wall, decides to then Wraith Walk back through it, as they're really not wanting to be challenged by it, so to speak. They don't want to quite die yet. But we can see 5 shots into the core of Shoangal Rescue Rangers, while only 3 more into the side of Hardstuck support group. But no, I like it that they are coming down here to defend. This is the correct play. For those who aren't as much a fan of this map as maybe these teams are, which also very dead Nubrak once again, it is very much come to this lane and make sure that once you have this, do not let go of it. It is yours. This controls this whole area. This whole area over here, that's yours now. Simba, this is the land to ours. Unless this dark place over here, you must never go there. But anyway, we do see now this side of Hardstuck support group is trying to hold on to this objective. Hebrew Hammer very much wanting to toss someone in there. Sylvanas once again using black arrows, getting what damage they can onto Fort. We see unstop from Mighty Toast. Mighty Toast barely gets a dash off before Hebrew Hammer can throw. Hebrew Hammer, maybe not a fan of that one, wanting to get that throw in. Nice combo by Alarak, getting a decent amount. No, it didn't quite have the Q, but still getting a decent amount of damage out. What are they at? We're getting there on quest. Burrow Charge, not quite finding anything. Taco getting pulled in zone of death by Frank. Frank getting a decent amount of damage on him. Hebrew Hammer throwing Taco back in. Taco drops him directly in front of the Alarak. Alarak again getting a decent amount of damage onto him. Nice unstopped by Lucio, helping the side of Hardstuck support group get out in just a few moments. Nicely done.
The time is now, heroes.
The time is now, heroes. Oh, Wailing Arrow used. Didn't quite... Well, it did find Mighty Toast, actually. Nice triple stun by Taco. Taco then getting thrown back out for their efforts. We can now see Random Engineer and Tazik has joined the fray. You see Random Engineer is one to get stunned. Does think twice about that, as Hebrew Hammer can just stop charge by throwing a good old fire bat if need be. But hey, Garrosh is a strong boy. He can just flip dragons, he can flip tanks, he can flip anything that gets... Okay, actually he can't flip one of the dragons now I think about it, but he can flip a lot of things that get in the way, such as a big bug, which does get squished pretty quickly. We then see Smacklar doing his best to keep Omar G alive, Tazik beating them with their mace, and then actually we see it is going to be random engineer taking a lot of damage if they do dash out, and that will not be them going down yet. Lucio gets a nice double book, and that'll be them holding on. I realize I haven't opened talents in like a year, so here's the talents, you can see them. I haven't touched on heroics, but we will as they happen. Other things to note, we do have Leoric has gone for stacking at level 16, going that auto attack quest. Omar G is nearly done with their static charge quest. It is getting up there, 185, pretty decent damage on it, but not, well, actually pretty decent. It is basically pretty much done. It does need to hit 3 more people to complete. I believe it's 200 stacks, each stack being 5. Talents are nice. I don't have any. I can just talk a lot. That's my talent, I guess. Just talking a lot and somehow remembering a bit too much more about this game than I really thought I did. I forget heroes' names all the time, so I'm like, ah, yes, it is Critterize at level 16 by Brightwing with safety dust. Wait, Speedy Dragon of Fair? Pixie Boost. Speedy Dragon's level 20. That's my bad. But yeah, there's some pretty good stuff out here. Each team is kind of getting a lot of their power spikes at the moment. Blaze is at charge build, charge doing so much damage. We can see it just does take a decent chunk of Tezzuk off. Tezzuk, however, is able just to Wraith Walk out. However, Taco is there to catch the end of it. Tezzuk health just dropping, and no, there'll be them going down. Meanwhile, we see that is a web wrap onto Hebrew Hammer. Hebrew Hammer barely missing the toss as Anubrak got into the bunker right as that happened. Frank then goes down to Blaze charge. It's not quite well. You see, Sadism is reset once again. And we do now have this side of Hardstuck support group pushing mid. And just 5 more stack, 1 more stack on Tassadar until they're done. That building is now down. Blaze is going to go soak, see if they can get their storm talents for the side of Hardstuck support group. Meanwhile, Chongar Rescue Rangers is a bit further behind. However, this game can very much change at level 20. You have a lot of powerful heroics, storm talents for both teams. Sure, we do see that Hardstuck support group does have the advantage so far, but this is the map where you can make a comeback. This is the map where it can go either way at the end. You can be dominating all for the early game, but if it gets to the late game and you're still down and you suddenly decide to have some issues. Oh, nice web wrap. It means you can escape a tomb. Meanwhile, Tezzuk goes down. As this is a bloodthirsty frog, as some would put it. As this frog is just going for the kills, and they are finding them pretty consistently. Sorry, ignore the dice rolling. That's how I decide what game I'm casting. I see Smack Loud rotating down. It looks like the side of Chongal Rescue Rangers are wanting to get that next fort. Oh, Tezzuk. Oh. What you saying, bud? What you saying over there? You ready to talk? You ready to talk smack? No, but we do see Hardstuck support group are now taking this bottom keep, and that will be again structure advantage being held by the side of Hardstuck support. Look, usually I'd go with Div C, but if I feel like variety outside Div C, I roll a D12, 1 being I cast Heroic Division, 12 being I cast E West. And then I roll a D10 to decide what game I cast, just like first on that list, down to 10th on that list. But I can roll a D20 as well, considering how many games there are. We do see Hebrew Hammer is actually going to be booped out by Lucio, as Lucio goes, actually, this is not your objective, this is mine. Get out. This is not your zone, this is my zone of control. Out you get. Meanwhile, Frank disagrees, pulling in Taco to get the charge off. And we do actually see, this may actually be a miss, as Tezzuk is stealing one of the objectives from behind. If Hardstuck support group got both of these, they would have won here. But no. Leoric is going to stop that and maybe keeps Cho'Gath Rescue Rangers long enough to win the game. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Because again, this is the comeback map. I would not question it if the side of Cho'Gath Rescue Rangers does come back from this. Right, Taco does burrow in the middle of a team, does get a decent stun, and we see Unsock coming out, high five, doing such a good job of keeping him alive. Tezzuk has actually gone for the level 20 drain talent. That's not something you see very often. You don't usually see Burning Despair, especially if you're going auto attack build. You usually see it on W build, if anything. But hey, 40 armor is a decent amount. Sure, Tychus ignores it, but we do see that is happening. Other talents to note, we actually never mind. We'll see Random Engineer whiffing. Tazak does go over the enemy team. Goes flying somehow. We want to see Blaze, the first one down. We see Taco getting relatively low. Smackloud trying best to keep him alive. However, no, it'll be Smackloud going down next. Taco, 170 health. They do need to get out. But no, instead it is the Tassadar down. Taco doing their best to run, but they cannot hide as Tazak has found them. Frank found them. We do see we see a web wrap coming out. We see a throw onto Mighty Toast. Mighty Toast now the one in danger, just running upwards away. We see a dash used. They're not running gun. They don't have infinite dashes, and that's a dead Tychus. And now we're getting aggressive things going. Push! Push! And it will be the side of Chongar Rescue Rangers finally having the run of the mill. They finally have the map in their favor. Everyone's down on Hardsuck support group. You can turn this one. You can turn your defensive tower back pretty quick. And you can get probably, honestly, about 5 shots off here, 6 shots off here if you play it smart. But no, it doesn't look like they're going to be that greedy. They're just going to go for the 5 by the looks of it. Which, Blaze has just come up. Lucio and Tassadar also not too far away. It's the safe play, yes. But will it be the winning play is the question. Because even now, we're 11 shots off. If they manage to get that other building before, they'd just be 10 shots off, which 2 5s much easier than 2 6s, just because buildings can be converted so quickly. But no, at this point, this means they are going to have to find that 1 extra shot some other way if they want to finish in 2. Which can happen, but we'll see. Hebrew Hammer very much deciding to push in. This tower is basically already down by the time they make a choice. Taco gets stun comboed. We see the poly, we see the silence, we see the Entomb come out. Taco does manage to burrow charge into Penchishi and Hebrew Hammer, both getting relatively low. We see Phase Shift not quite going on to the person that wants. Hebrew Hammer will be next to go down. Both tanks on the sides, each side going down. However, Hardsuck support group does still have Random Engineer on, well, I guess technically still a tank of Blaze. That will be that fight quickly run and done. As we do have both teams respawning. Garrosh will be back a little bit after Anubarak, but both tanks will be more or less able to fight at the same time. Especially because I imagine objectives going to be caught soon. So, Chongar Rescue Rangers need to make sure that Hardsuck support group aren't going to do boss. And well, lo and behold, Tazak has sound from doing boss. So, Hardsuck support group are very much the ones who can control the tempo here. They don't technically need to fight Hardsuck support group. They can either just try do boss or just try do objective. But if you all show around boss for long enough, you may be able to get something cheeky off. Actually, no. With how things are positioning, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to. If it was maybe the bottom objective, you may be able to get away with it. But this one, not so much. Smackloud is channeling. Tazak is going in, barely finds a cancel onto Lucio. Lucio, actually, oh my god, that is a nice 4-man bunker. Not 4-man bunker, 4-man Entomb. And we see Counter-Strike going through it, Blazing can do some damage. Taco actually going to be relatively low. And actually, Garrosh finds a double kill on the throw. The third being found by Sylvanas, the fourth being found by Sylvanas. Omar G gets storm bolted onto by Emsky. However, Tazak doesn't quite find the creepy hand. Omar G holding on a bit longer. They don't have Archon, they don't have Black Hole, they will be dead, however. Right, and honestly, 6-cap do boss. 6-cap do boss, that will probably end. You don't have to, but I'm just saying, guys. It's gonna be pretty disappointed if you don't do that. It wouldn't be very cool. It'd be pretty lame, actually, if you didn't. But no, we can see all the while boss has started. Hebrew Hammer taking a decent amount of damage to start. We see Phase Shift coming out onto them. Does keep them up for a little bit. Well, I say for a little bit. Does heal from that good old 30%, 25%, whatever it is. And keeps them alive long enough to get that. You can see a second take. No, go top. Do the cool thing. Don't do the lame camp. Do the cool 6-cap. Cowards. Anyway. We can see the side of Chongar Rescue Rangers are pushing onto the camp. They are going to want to take it. And if they can get all 3 of these sappers in, they will win. In all honesty, 6-cap. That's cooler. That's fun. That's hip. That's fresh. But we can see Taco is now stuck in the tomb. Does burrow charge out. Otherwise, they were probably sitting duck in the water, so to speak, and may have just died. Commandeer Odin popped. We can see now these sappers are going to start getting killed off. That's a huge throw. That's a very good fight with the side of Chongar Rescue Rangers who managed to find Lucio and the Tassadar now. Between the pull from Frank and the flip and stun from Hebrew Hammer, that is just 2 blue team members down just like that. Right. And Ubrak knows, oh, because my dice, they need to get aggressive. Meanwhile, Random Engineer is being dove onto Taco, not going to be able to get the challenge onto that back one. Fading Chashi as can go forwards if need be. Meanwhile, Random Engineer is in danger. We see Bolt of the Storm use, Emsky taking him down. We see Taco challenging here as long as they can. Emsky is going back to help Fading Shishi. We're going to see Mighty Toast is going to do this. We see a stun, we see a flip, we see a counter-striking Alarak being thrown. There'll be both other members of the side of Hardstuck Support Room down, and there'll be the game and the series going over to the side of Cho and Gall Rescue Rangers. GG's called by both sides. Tezek says that was so tense. Well played. Well played, both teams. Nicely done. But right, let's have a look at the game summary screen and see what had happened that game. So, in terms of stats, Leoric did a very good job, actually, both Siege and Experience game. Did beat up the other offlaner, but what the other offlaner did quite well was Random Engineer joined the team at very crucial times, and that did actually mean that Hardstuck Support Group were able to find those 5v4s and get the few kills they needed to kind of start that early advantage. However, as I surmised in partway through the game, once 20s came through, it kind of became much harder for Hardstuck Support Group to get away with that, just because, well, Leoric was spending more time with the friendly team of Cho'Gahl Rescue Rangers. Other things to note here, hero damage, Sylvanas and Tychus, very close, 2k difference. Healing, Brightwing did an amazing amount of healing, 50k, which is a lot. 50k over Lucio being a lot, like 130k is astonishing. Lucio, unfortunately, didn't quite have a burst healing they needed this game, so that's probably what was the larger issue there. Not quite that Lucio wasn't healing, just he couldn't quite get through all the burst that was coming out from Hardstuck Support Group. Let's have a look at talents. Anything that stands out in particular? Not really. Okay, going through it. Almost full burrow build by Anubrak. That's different. I do like it. It's not the beetle build we've been seeing a lot recently, but it didn't quite work out in Taco's favor, but Epicenter is such good talent. I don't blame him for this build. Yeah, Burning Despair at level 20. That'll probably be the most interesting one from Leoric. But I guess it does increase his tankiness by quite a bit. But it's still not Buried Alive. Buried Alive being one of those mythic, strongest heroic upgrade, Storm Talent upgrades, being alongside with things such as Wind Tunnel. But it did work out for Tazek, so it's a bit hard to say either here or there, whether it was the right pick or whether something else would have done better. And I don't know Alarak. Someone else can know an Alarak build and go, nah, that looks wrong. But I'm like, I've seen it before. A bit disappointed it's not show of force, but it was still working out for them. But right, let me throw it over to the game summary screen, not the map view screen, and kind of see how the series went. As we can see, it was indeed a 2-0 to the side of Cho'Gahl Rescue Rangers. They did take it over Hardstuck Support Group. They took Praxis in relatively convincing fashion. However, that Towers of Doom game, much closer than the Praxis game maybe would have led us to believe how it was going to go. So we do have the side of Cho'Gahl Rescue Rangers did close out in the end. So, while I do want to technically do another replay cast, I do have an actual live one in about 50 minutes, around 2 o'clock my time, so 8 Eastern. I don't know how time zones work very well. That's on me. So I will be taking a break for the next 50 minutes or so, while I get things set up for the next one, so on and so forth. It's 9 Eastern then it's going to be. That's right. I just did daylight savings, so it's weird. Daylight savings very weird for me. throws me off every time. I've been so tired like this past week. But that has been me for the moment. I wish everyone a good evening, good afternoon, because I'm feeling like that's when most people are watching currently. But I'll see you all in the Nexus. Goodbye, at least, for now.